Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. We have a very special podcast for you prepared on the day remembering the painful exodus of Kashmiri Pandits from the valley. Six Pandits, veteran trade union president Sampat Prakash, ex-programmer Doordarshan and Kashmiri novelist Sohanlal Kaul, anthologist Siddhartha Gigoo, senior journalist Aditya Raj Kaul, journalist Shivani Bazaz, and lastly, a millennial school teacher from Srinagar gave the logical Indian their account on the forced migration along with observations on Kashmir's bygone history, the possibility of resettlement, and what they hope the future of their homeland should be. Can you pinpoint to one thing that might be largely responsible for the exodus?
What happened in 1990 was nothing but a well chalked out plan drawn up by Pakistan, no?
ये तो आईएसआई का प्लान था। जब तक कश्मीरी पंडित कश्मीर में रहेगा, यहाँ उनकी मूवमेंट प्लान नहीं चल सकता है।
I'll give you an example. In 1986, my dad started renovating the house. So a lot of neighbors came and said, why are you, in revenue investing in this house? You're not going to live here. There's a big thing that's going to happen here. So that was the message coming from Pakistan.
Since 1986, 1987, they did see early signs of things changing, but there is always that trust of people who you have lived your entire lives with.
Who broke that trust then?
Who became militants? Like teenagers. Many of my friends.
और बाद में मेरी एक सोच होती है, मैं इसमें from pre-Vedic civilization to this present global age, no mother has given birth to a terrorist, nor a child is born militant. It is the circumstances, political circumstances and political awakening of the political class and political rulers जो समाज को तैयार करते हैं. अगर pre-Vedic history civilization से आज तक चलो, it is the circumstances which political class create. The people take up the armed strength.
So, what did happen at that time?
My grandfather told me that there were processions where people used to say, Azadi ka matlab kya, la ilaha illallah. All of this used to happen in front of their eyes, and just because they wanted to belong and they did not want to come across as somebody who's an outsider, my grandfather and his brother actually joined one such procession. They also chanted Azadi, Azadi till the time when they started saying things against the Kashmiri Pandits. That is when they ran for their life. And my grandfather told me that is the day he thought that there's no other way but we have to leave.
There was sloganeering from the mosques as well, saying Pandit men should leave and Pandit women should be staying back. And of course, slogans like "Yahan kya chalega," Nizam-e Mustafa.
No, my humble submission is simple. It was an uprising in 90 after the anger had reached a blasting point in the heads and hearts of the covered Kashmir.
What do you have to say, Sohanlal sir?
Some leaders, for their own political gains and motives, they ignored the aspirations of people. Every society has its own aspiration. And these aspirations are to be met. When they are not met for a long time, then such type of things happen.
What is the most sour rumor you heard about the Pandits' migration?
I have heard this in my life, and that they received huge sums when they were asked to leave. I think that's just undermining the entire heinous thing that had happened to an entire community.
No Kashmiri Pandit fled Kashmir, left Kashmir of his own will.
Okay.
Not a single family, not a single member of the family, nor child, nor old man. न कश्मीरी पंडित अपनी मर्जी से कश्मीर छोड़ा है, न कश्मीरी मुसलमानों ने लाखों में सड़कों पर आकर पंडितों को निकाला.
Where did the conflict stem from?
There have been so many historical blunders in Kashmir. एक जमाने में हमने यूसुफ शाह चक को दिल्ली भेजा, जाइए जी आप मुगल बादशाहों के पास जाइए. तो उन्होंने, क्योंकि यूसुफ शाह चक अगर जिंदा होता या वहाँ रहता तो शायद वो बाहर वाला इन्फ्लुएंस कश्मीर में नहीं आने देता. वो कश्मीरी तारीख की पहली गलती है से कश्मीर का जो अपना आजाद स्ट्रक्चर था, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स थे, जिससे वो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता डाइल्यूट हो गए. 1947 तक पहुंचते पहुंचते ऐसी बहुत सारी चीजें हो गई. बट दिस टाइप ऑफ हिस्टोरिकल ब्लंडर is irreversible. Basic fiber of Kashmiriyat got disturbed with this exodus.
Can you give us an example to highlight how Kashmiriyat worked?
in 1947 when the whole subcontinent was in flames. Everyone was in flames. Delhi was in flames. There were communal riots. 10 lakh people got killed in that 47 communal riots. Correct? But at that time in Kashmir, not a single drop of blood fell of Kashmiri Pandits in any village, lane, by lane, home or town. जब हमारे कश्मीर में सिर्फ 1.5 लाख कश्मीरी पंडित या 2 लाख थे, मुस्लिम 33 लाख थे, बस जम्मू में मुस्लिम 1 लाख मैसेकर हुआ, तो यहाँ तो 2 घंटे नहीं लगते इनको साफ होने में। मगर ये बताइए उस वक्त सारे मुस्लिम फैमिलीज, मैन एंड वुमन, ओल्ड एंड यंग, केम आउट टू प्रोटेक्ट कश्मीरी पंडित विद प्राइड। उसी हिस्ट्री को 90 में उन्होंने मस्त किया। दे डिड नॉट ओपन देयर माउथ, they did not come out with a protest, they did not write a single article in any paper that killing of Jagannath, Omkarnath, Gunju is against Quran. ये किसी ने बयान तक नहीं दे दिया।
Do you have any remembrances or borrowed memories from that grief-stricken time?
And on that unfortunate night, 19th January, my family decided to move out. They bought a ticket of a bus. I still have that ticket with me. Next day morning, early morning on 20th January,
Right.
my family left and to never return. And so we stayed in Jammu. We went to Jammu. We stayed in a camp for about three months. And it was a small room, basically, a small room where around 16 to 20 people stayed for 3 months.
It cannot be forgotten how they went from their house in the midnight and went to Jammu, went to Delhi. It cannot be forgotten.
Important thing also, some pockets of Kashmiri Muslims also migrated. They also left Kashmir at that time.
We were made to leave because we were minority. We were also branded as Asians of India. That was our fault, apparently.
This fateful day, he was his colleague from work who he had and the family had known for years, had called him out of the house, and with him was another man who he didn't recognize. He went and those 2 men held him by his arms and they abducted him, and the next day they got the news that he was being hanged.
Okay.
And his dead body finally reached, and my mother's family didn't even have the courage to go back, see that house, to see their grandparents. They never saw their grandparents again.
Actually, the situation was like threats were given.
Right.
Everybody was hurting from their neighbor.
Right.
This incident happened, this happened there, this happened there.
Okay.
So from this situation, they thought that the situation is here worse and we will go for a while to some other place. And after that, when all stops here, when all will stop here, we have to come back.
Was this officially communicated? It is believed that the then governor issued advisories for Pandits to leave.
Yeah. When that massacre was at peak, so at that time, the order was from the governor, ki you should move from this place, you will go outside and you will come back again for after the situation is under control.
My opinion is, Exodus, Jagmohan played a role. He managed that Kandit should leave for some time, and he played this role. But it was a criminal role. He should have given them a protection in stadium.
There was a role, definitely, because the Kashmiri government had a role to play.
A lot of Indians, mostly Hindus, bring up the plight of Kashmiri Pandits when the current situation is spoken about. What are your feelings about their whataboutery?
There are occasions when just to counter some politician or some ideology, the Kashmiri Pandits are used, and that's very unfortunate and shouldn't happen.
Mostly you'll find people on social media doing it, the so-called whataboutery. It's disrespecting a community.
I see a lot of people on social media throwing Kashmiri Pandits' name here and there because they can, because they want to oppose something that is trending, or because they want to oppose somebody.
How do you see the abrogation of Article 370 as a Kashmiri Pandit?
They were meant to protect the very people. This article should have protected us. Did it do so? No, nothing it did. I think it's a good step. What did it do? It was a useless. I would like a special status which genuinely guarantees the rights to the community.
370 and 35 is supreme. And my identity, of the Kashmiri nation.
It would be appropriate to say that the Kashmiri Pandits did welcome this because in many ways 370 was seen as a hurdle because there was a lot of apprehension as to why should there be different rights for people, the same Indians living in J&K and the same Indians living in rest of India.
What was the exact issue with the article that was good to have been eliminated?
The women rights, women marrying outside Jammu and Kashmir did not own property there as per the law.
Wasn't the archaic provision that disallowed them discarded by the Jammu and Kashmir High Court in 2002?
It might have been done for a couple of years or briefly, but the law remains the same. And what about the discrimination with the Valmikis?
Successive governments, especially the current one, keep saying that they will rehabilitate Pandits in their homeland. With the abrogation of 370, they claim that it is possible. Even if it is possible, do you see yourself settling in Kashmir?
I don't think so at this point.
Okay.
Why? Because it is not a happy place. I don't see Kashmir as a place which is where you can live happily with your family. I don't see it.
They've struggled a lot. But the people who are living outside J&K, they actually don't know about the reality which we are facing, who are living in Kashmir still.
Do you think they can settle and adjust in that environment?
I don't think it is properly possible because they have been there for 30 years now. They have been 30 years.
Okay.
So they cannot forget all those environment. They cannot live like we are living. I think so. I have a lot of colleagues in my connection that who are living outside. But if I say them we are living in Kashmir, they say how can you live there? What are you doing there?
True. I personally believe that the time is not right now for return of Kashmiri Pandit, and there hasn't been even a single conviction against a terrorist for killing or for kidnapping or raping or any of other crime against Kashmiri Pandit. So how can there be any kind of faith?
But I think this all starts with accepting what had happened and not building false narratives around it. Okay. And post that, justice being delivered.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Gigoo?
We've not forgotten who we are. We'll never forget who we are. We'll always want to reclaim what we lost.
Finally, we will end with you, Sampat Prakash ji. You had expressed dismay at the lack of protests by Kashmiris against the move by the centre. Why?
कश्मीरी टिमिन निकला जब इसकी 30 साल की ये लड़ाई है जिसमें 2 लाख इसके बच्चे कब्रिस्तान में गए, इतनी डिस्ट्रक्शन हुई है, इतने किलिंग हुई, मैं नहीं कहूँगा मिलिटेंसी चलानी है, नहीं, मगर सिविल डिसोबीडियंस मूवमेंट कर सकता था सड़कों पर, हर महल्ले से निकल जाते बाहर, सड़क पर बैठ जाते, क्या करते, टैंकर चलाते, कत्लेआम करते हैं, बस निकले ही नहीं। 30 साल में सैक्रिफाइस दी है कश्मीर के बच्चों ने, जवानों ने, बुढ़ों ने, जेलें काटी है, वो सब वेस्ट हो गई ना।
It is a saddening mix of conditions that have caused loss to everyone associated or related to the Valley of Kashmir. But I would like to thank you all for having shared your personal stories with us. The logical Indian understands that it is not easy at all. Thank you all once again and Godspeed.